Is the screen visible? Yes. Is the screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Earlier we have seen about relations, right? What is meant by relation? How we can define relation on a set? Let us say A. On set A is relation is nothing but any answers? Relation is nothing but subset of Cartesian product, isn't it? Subset of Cartesian product. Like you consider A as one set, 1, 2, 3, like this. Then Cartesian product of A with A, whatever the relations, whatever the Cartesian product we will be having, out of those, some subset we will be considering, that we will consider as the relation. Like we will be having 1 comma 1, 1 comma 2, 3 comma 3. This can be subset, isn't it? So this is a relation. Got it? Yes, do you remember it?
Yes, sir.
I could not able to hear you. Okay. Yeah. Now, this relation we know, and we have seen several properties for the relation. What are the properties? Can you please tell some of the properties of the relation? Yes. Some of the properties of the relation, like reflexive relation. What is meant by reflexive relation? Hmm. Yes, please respond, ma. Sorry.
If every element A comma A exists.
Yeah, a comma a. If a comma a exists, then we can say a comma a belongs to R. For all a belongs to A, then we can say it is reflexive. Similarly, irreflexive means we should not have this kind of pair, this kind of tuple in the relation. Similarly, we have seen symmetric, isn't it? What is meant by symmetric? If A comma B is present, then it will lead B comma A is also present in the relation. Then we can say it is symmetric. Similarly, asymmetric in the sense, hmm, what is asymmetric and what is antisymmetric? If A comma B is belongs to R, that is the relation, then B comma A should not belongs to the relation, then that is asymmetric, isn't it? Next, antisymmetric in the sense, if A comma B belongs to R and B comma A also belongs to R, then definitely A equal to B. Okay, this is the restriction. A equal to B, then only A comma B and B comma A should belongs to R. That means, suppose if you have 1 comma 1 in the relation, okay, in the relation 1 comma 1, will it be antisymmetric or not? Yes. If 1 comma 1 only tuple present in the relation, and let us consider A is 1 only. Now you say, is it antisymmetric or not? Hmm.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Why? Because 1 comma 1 is present and B comma A is also 1 comma 1 only. Here 1 is equal to 1, so it is satisfying. Is it symmetric? Is it symmetric? Hmm. Is it symmetric or not? Yes. Why? Because A comma B, B comma A should be present. So for all the pairs A comma B, B comma A is also present. So it is symmetric. It is not asymmetric. Is it reflexive? Is it
Yes, sir.
reflexive? Yes.
Yes, sir.
So it is not irreflexive, it is reflexive, right? So these are the properties which we have seen several times earlier with respect to relation. Reflexive, symmetric, asymmetric, antisymmetric, of course this irreflexive as well. Okay, out of these, just you consider this reflexive and symmetric, antisymmetric, sorry, reflexive, antisymmetric properties. Yeah. Now, reflexive property is nothing but, let us say A consists of several elements here, okay, A, B, C, so on. Now, reflexive is nothing but A comma A should be present in relation or such that for all A belongs to A, we should satisfy this. Next, what is meant by antisymmetric, you tell? What is meant by antisymmetric? If A comma B and B comma A both belongs to this relation, then A should be equal to B. Then only we will be having symmetric pairs in the relation. Next, one more property of the relation also we have seen, that is transitive. What is meant by transitive? Yes, what is meant by transitive? If A comma B belongs to R and B comma C belongs to R, that is, if a tuple A comma B belongs to R and B comma C tuple also belongs to R, then A comma C also belongs to R. Then we can say it as transitive. Do you remember it? A transitive property, antisymmetric. Of course, these two we have revised. Now, transitive is nothing but, suppose 1 comma 2 is there and 2 comma 4. These two are part of the relation. Okay, these two are part of the relation. Then definitely 1 comma 4 should also be present. Then we can say it as transitive. Okay, this 1 comma 4 is not, if it is not present in the relation, then it is, this R is not transitive. Do you remember it? Yes? Yes, please respond, ma. Transitive property, is it clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now, what is meant by this equivalence relation? When we say a relation as equivalence relation, whenever it satisfies three properties. What are those three? Equivalence property. It should be reflexive, it should be symmetric, isn't it? It should be symmetric. Another one is transitive. If a relation satisfies all these three properties, it is reflexive, symmetric and transitive, then we can say that kind of relation as equivalence relation. Can you say one example for equivalence relation? Yes, we have seen several examples for equivalence relation. Can you say one, at least one? Yes, please respond, ma. Suppose let us consider A as 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now you consider R is defined in such a way that A comma B tuple belongs to R. Okay. Sorry. A comma B belongs to R if A is divisible by B. Okay. Is this relation definition clear? A comma B belongs to this R if A divides B. Okay, now you consider 1, 2, 3, 4. What can be the relation? What will be the tuples in R? Can we have 1, comma 1? Yes or no? Can we have 1, comma 1? Yes. Why? Because it divides it. 1 divides itself. Next 2, comma 2. Yes. Next 3, comma 3. Yes. Similarly 4, comma 4. Next 1, comma 2. 2, comma 1. Yes. 2, comma 3. No. 2, comma 4. Yes. Next 3, comma 1. Yes. That's it. Next 4, comma 1. Yes. 4, comma 2. Yes. 4, comma 4. Anyway, it is there. So this will be the relation with this particular definition. Is it clear till this point? Yes. Please respond.
Yes, sir.
Are you responding in chat? No. Okay. Okay, now we have to see whether this particular relation is equivalence relation or not. How we can determine whether it is reflexive or not, we have to see. What is meant by reflexive? A comma A belongs to R or not. So 1, comma 1, 2, comma 2, 3, comma 3, 4, comma 4 all belongs to this particular relation R. So it satisfies first thing. Next, symmetric in the sense if 1, comma 2 is present, then 2, comma 1 is also should be present. Now 2, comma 1 is present. 1, comma 2 is not present, so it is not satisfying symmetric property. Next, you consider transitive. Even you can consider 2, comma yeah, no, 2, comma 4 also not part of the relation. Next 3, comma 1, 1, comma 3 is not part of the relation, so it is not satisfying symmetric property. Next, consider transitive property. Transitive in the sense, suppose 2, comma 1 is there, and any other here 4, comma 1, no 4, comma 2, 2, comma 2, then 4, comma 2. Okay, fine. Next 4, comma 2, then 2, comma 1. It will lead to 4, comma 1, which is part of the relation. So transitive properties it is satisfying, but symmetric property it is not satisfying. So this particular relation is not equivalence relation. Why? Because it has to satisfy all the 3 conditions. Clear? Yes. Yeah. Now, similar to this equivalence relation, we are having a special type of ordering called partial order relation. Partial order relation. As we have in the case of equivalence relation, what are the 3 properties to be satisfied? What are the 3 properties to be satisfied for equivalence relation? Reflexive, symmetric, transitive relations, the transitive properties. Similar to that, here in the partial order relation, we need to satisfy 3 conditions. One is reflexive, another one is anti-symmetric, third one is transitive. If a relation is reflexive, antisymmetric and transitive, then that particular relation we call it as partial order relation. Try to understand here. If the relation is reflexive, antisymmetric and transitive, then that relation we say it as partial order relation. If a set is if a set A has partial order relation, okay, from this particular set A, if you could be able to define partial order relation, okay, along with these two, that is along with this partial order relation, this particular set we call it as partial order set. Partial order set, or in short, POSET. This is standard word, POSET. See, if a set on the set, if you could able to define partial order relation, okay, if you could able to define a relation which is partial order relation, then we can say this set along with this partial order relation as partial order set. In short, we will denote with poset. Got my point? What is meant by poset? Yes, it has to satisfy reflexive, antisymmetric, transitive properties. Then we can say it has partial order relation. Set along with its partial order relation, we call it as partial order set. In short, it is poset. Is it clear? Shall I need to repeat once? Yes. Shall I need to repeat, or do you want more explanation? Yes, please respond, ma'am. Yes. Hussein, are you there? Okay. Now let us see. Hussein, orally you respond. I am not seeing the chart. Yeah. Now let us consider one simple example. We are having a set. Yeah. We are having a set like 1, 2, 3, okay, and the relation I am defining as to denote a comma b if a is less than or equal to b. Okay, this is the relation. Now, what can be the tuples that we can have in relation? Now, you please tell. 1 comma 2. Can we have 1 comma 1? Yes or no? 1 comma 1. Is it satisfying the condition or not? Yes. Next 1 comma 2. Yes. 1 comma 3. Yes. Next, similarly 2 comma 1. No. 2 comma 2. Yes. 2 comma 3. Yes. 2 comma. Next 3 comma 1. No. 3 comma 2. No. 3 comma 3. Yes. Is it clear how we have defined this relation? A comma B will be part of the relation. This particular tuple will be part of the relation R if A is less than or equal to B. So A and B values can be 1, 2, 3. So now 1 comma 1 will satisfy that condition. Next 1 comma 2, 1 comma 3, these all will satisfy the condition. Now let us see whether it is a partial order relation or not. Partial order relation or not. How we can check? We have to check for 3 conditions. One is reflexive, whether it is reflexive or not. Reflexive in the sense, for every A we should have A comma A belongs to the R. So now 1 comma 1 is present, 2 comma 2 is present, 3 comma 3 is present. So it is satisfying the reflexive property. Next, second condition is antisymmetric. What is antisymmetric property? If at all any symmetric pair exists in the relation, symmetric pair in the sense A comma B and B comma A both belongs to the relation. Now you consider 1 comma 1 and 1 comma 1 will be the symmetric pair. So it belongs to R. Next 1 comma 2, 2 comma 1 not present. Next 1 comma 3, 3 comma 1 is not present. So we need not bother about these two. Next 2 comma 2, it is a symmetric pair to itself. Next 2 comma 3, 3 comma 2 is not present. So need not bother. Next 3 comma 3, for 3 comma 3, it itself will be the symmetric pair. Now antisymmetric property is whenever we have symmetric pair like A comma B and B comma A, then A should be equal to B. Then only we should have this kind of symmetric pair. Now what are the symmetric pairs that we have? 1 comma 1, 2 comma 2, 3 comma 3. These are the only 3 which are symmetric pairs that we have in this relation. So all these 3 are satisfying this property, right? So it is antisymmetric. Next, third one is transitive. Whether it is transitive relation or not, we have to check. Transitive in the sense, let's consider 1 comma 1 and 1 comma 2. It will lead to 1 comma 2, which is part of the relation. Next, 1 comma 2, 2 comma 3. It will lead to 1 comma 3, isn't it? 1 comma 2, just you consider this and this. 1 comma 2, 2 comma 3, which will lead to 1 comma 3, which is part of the relation. Now you consider any other thing like 1 comma 2, 2 comma 2. It will lead to 1 comma 2 itself. Next, 1 comma 3, 3 comma 3. It will give only 1 comma 3. So it satisfies transitive property as well. So it is reflexive, antisymmetric, transitive as well. So can we consider it as a partial order relation? Yes. And the set A along with this R, we call it as partial order set, in short, coset. Is the definition of coset clear to you now? Yes?
Sir, please repeat.
Yes, please. I didn't get you now.
Sir, can you please repeat it once again, coset?
Okay. Yeah. Here you see, we are having a set A and reflex, whenever we say what you call the relation R, which is defined on this set, okay, relation R which is defined on this set is reflexive, then A comma A belongs to R. For all A belongs to A. This is the property of reflexive. It's similarly symmetric in the sense, if symmetric pair exists in the relation, then A should be equal to B. This is antisymmetric. Next, transitive in the sense, if A comma B belongs to R and B comma C also belongs to R, then A comma C should be belongs to R. Then it is transitive. These three properties which we have seen earlier, I think it is clear to you. And the definition of partial order relation is this kind of relation we will define, okay, on the set A. And if this relation satisfies these three properties, reflexive, antisymmetric and transitive, then we can say that kind of relation as partial order relation. And the set along with this relation, we call it as coset. That's it. The set which is having the partial order, combinedly we can say it as partial order set. In short, coset. Okay, now let us see the example. Yeah. Now A is defined as 1, 2, 3 and R is defined as A comma B is the tuple whenever A is less than or equal to B. Now how we can define R? Whatever the, in general, R is nothing but, yes, R is nothing but subset of A cross A, isn't it? Subset of A cross A. So now in the R, we have to satisfy this condition for every tuple A comma B. In that way, we will be, in general, A cross A will contain 1 comma 1, 1 comma 2, 1 comma 3, 1 comma 3. Next 2 comma 1, 2 comma 2, 2 comma 3. Next 3 comma 1, 3 comma 2, 3 comma 3. All the possibilities will exist in A cross A. But out of those, subset only we will consider into R, by which will satisfy this particular condition. That's what the relation definition. Now, what are the tuples that we will be getting into R? Means 1 comma 1, which will satisfy this condition, right? 1 less than or equal to 1. Next 1 comma 2, which will satisfy this condition. Next 1 comma 3. 2 comma 1 will not satisfy this. That's why we are not having 2 comma 1 here. By this you can understand. Next 2 comma 2, which will satisfy. Next 2 comma 3 will satisfy. 3 comma 1 will not satisfy. 3 comma 2 will not satisfy. 3 comma 3 will satisfy. Like that we can define R. Now whether R is partial order relation or not, we have to check. In order to check that one, we need to check these three conditions. Reflexive or not? Yes. 1 comma 1, 2 comma 2, 3 comma 3. For all these three elements, we are having reflexive pairs. 1 comma 1, 2 comma 2, 3 comma 3. That's why it can be considered as reflexive relation. Next, consider antisymmetric. What are the symmetric pairs that we have? Only these. These are the symmetric pairs. Other than these three, we don't have any other symmetric pairs. So it is antisymmetric as well. Next, transitive relation in the sense, whenever we have A comma B and B comma C, then A comma C should be present. Now such kind of property, it is satisfying for every two tuples. Okay, any two tuples of the form A comma B, B comma C, if you take, A comma C must be present, that will be present here. So it is transitive as well. So it is partial order relation. Whatever the R we have defined, this is partial order relation, and this set A along with its partial order relation, we call it as coset. Is this clear now? Yes, ma?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now let us see one or two more examples on this partial order relation, partial order set. Then you will get more clarity. Yeah. Now, yeah. Let us consider we are having a set S, okay? Set S, which is defined as 1, 2, okay? Simply 1, 2. And A is the set which consists of all the possible subsets. A is the set which contains all the possibles of set S. So what we call capital A? A is nothing but all the possible subsets of this S. So what we call A? Capital A is nothing but yes. If I ask another question, then you will answer for both. But I am expecting answer directly. If the
Power
set
set,
is,
sir.
yeah, that is power set. So how many sets we will be having in A?
4.
4. What are those? Empty set, set with one element, set with two elements. Like this we will be having, isn't it? So this is the power set. Now let us define a relation R in such a way that on this A we are defining the relation like A comma B, okay? Or you consider other symbols other than A comma B, just to consider P comma Q. Yeah, P comma Q. This is the pair such that P is subset R equal to Q. Okay. Earlier we have considered A as elements. Okay, directly 1, 2, 3, 4 like that we have considered. But now A is containing subsets as elements. Okay, so each subset, one subset and another subset will form a tuple, and this tuple will be part of the relation provided P is subset R equal to Q. Now you consider what can be the relation R. Yeah, now you please tell what can be the relation R. Can we have pi and 1? Can we have pi and 1? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Similarly, what can be the other things? Pi and
Pi
2?
and 2.
Yeah. Next.
Pi and 1, 2.
Next. Next.
1, 1, 2.
Yeah. 1, 1, 2.
2, 1, 2.
2, 1, 2.
1, 1. 2, 2.
1,
1.
yeah. 1, 1. That is in the set.
2, 2. And 1, 2, 1, 2. And also 5, 5.
Next. Any other? Any other? That's it. Right? So this is the relation. Now we have to check whether this relation is partial order relation or not. What is the first condition? Reflexive. So reflexive in the sense for every element a comma a should be part of the relation. So pi comma pi is part of the relation. So it is satisfying. Next 1 comma 1. Yes. Next 2 comma 2. Yes. 1 comma 2, 1 comma 2. Yes. So it is satisfying reflexive property. Second property is antisymmetric. Whether it is antisymmetric relation or not. How we can check? What are the symmetric pairs that we have that we have to see? Pi comma 1 is there. Let us consider pi comma 1 is there. Can we have 1 comma pi as part of the relation?
No, sir.
No. Why? Because the condition here is p is subset or equal to q. So pi comma 1 is there. 1 comma pi will not exist. Similarly, same thing will true for up to this. Next, you consider 1 comma 1 comma 2. Now, in reverse, that is a symmetric pair will not exist in this relation. Similarly, 2 comma 1 comma 2 also will not satisfy. So, whenever you consider this relation, these are the tuples which are symmetric pairs. So, it is satisfying the antisymmetric property. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Next, third one is transitive property. Now you consider pi 2 and 2 comma 1 comma 2. This particular one and this particular one you consider. Okay. A comma b, b comma c. Then a comma c in the sense pi comma 1 comma 2, which is part of the relation. Similar to that, pi comma 1 you consider, 1 comma 1 comma 2 you consider. Okay, these two, this one and this one you consider. Then a comma b, b comma c, then a comma c must be present. So here we are having. So it is satisfying transitive property as well. So can we consider it as a partial order relation?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So what is poset now? Poset is nothing but the set A, which is defined on the original set capital S, okay, which is nothing but power set, okay. Sorry. A is nothing but power set of S, and this R is defined like this will be R is defined like this will be poset, okay. Yeah. Is this clear? This particular line, if you understand, then everything will be done. Yes. A is nothing but power set of S, and R is defined in such a way that P comma Q is part of the relation provided P is subset or equal to Q. Okay, whenever a relation is defined like this, then along with this poset, what you call this set and relation, we say it as a poset. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now let us see one more example so that it will be more clear to you. Okay. We are having a set A like 1, 2, 4, 6, 9, some elements 10, okay, and the relation is defined as A comma B tuple will be part of the relation provided A or B divides A, okay, B divides A. That means what are the tuples that we will be having in R? Now you please tell. 1 comma 2. 1 comma 2 will be part of the relation or not? 1 comma 2. If two is divisible by 1, that is true. So 1 comma 2 can be part of the relation. Next, similar to that, 1 comma 1 can we have?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So obviously 2 comma 2, 4 comma 4, 6 comma 6, 9 comma 9, all these will be part of the relation. Next, consider 2 comma 4. Will it be part of the relation? 2 comma 4?
Yes, sir.
Yes or no? 2 comma 4.
Yes.
2 comma 4 in the sense a comma b will be 2 comma 4, then 4 divides 2. Yes or no? 2 comma 4, so it will be part. Now you come back to this 1 comma 2. 1 comma 2 in the sense 2 is divisible by 1. Similarly here 4 is divisible by 2. So it satisfies. Next you consider other pairs like 2 comma 6. Will it be part? 2 comma 6.
Yes, sir.
2 comma 9.
No, sir.
No. 2 comma 10. Yes. Next you consider 10 comma 2. 10 comma 2. Will it be
No,
part
sir.
of the relation or not?
No.
No. Why? Because 2 is not divisible by 10. So we should not have 10 comma 2. Now let us consider 4 comma 2. 4 comma 2. Will it be part?
No, sir.
Now for 4, what can be the pair that we can have to form a tuple? For 4 comma 6, no, isn't it? 4 comma 6, 4 comma 9, no, 4 10, no. So we will not be having any pair. Next, consider 6. Can we have any other? 6. Yes.
No, sir.
No. For 9. For 9.
No, sir.
No. For 10.
No, sir.
No. So we, of course, for 10 we will be having 10 itself. For 9 also 9 itself. That's it. Other than that we will not be having any other. Yeah. Next, for 2 we have completed, right? For 2 comma 4 is there. Next 2 comma 6 is there. 2 comma 10 is there. That's it. So this will be the relation total. Now let us see whether it is reflexive or not. Whether it is reflexive or not.
Yes, sir.
Yes. And antisymmetric, reflexive in the sense by 1 comma 1, 2 comma 2, 4 comma 4, all these pairs are present. Next, antisymmetric, yes. Why? Because the only symmetric pairs that we have are these. We are not having 1 comma, if 1 comma 2 is present, 2 comma 1 will not be present. By the definition itself, it is clear. Isn't it? If A divides B, B divides A, definitely A equal to B. So by this definition itself, we can say it is antisymmetric. Okay. Next, third one is transitive. Now you consider A divides B and B divides C. Then definitely A divides C. So definitely we can say transitive property is also satisfied, and this is called coset along with this set A and this relation we call it as coset. Is the definition clear to you now? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now let us see earlier one which we have discussed, like how we can represent a relation. Suppose a relation is there, in how we can represent the relation. Like as we have seen earlier, we can represent as the series of tuples, isn't it? This is one of the types of representations. Are there any other types of representing a relation? Are there any types to represent a relation? We have seen we can represent by using matrix. Do you remember it? Like relation will be defined on a set A, right? Suppose A, B, C, D, these are the elements, then these many rows and columns will be having. If A is related to A, then we will have 1. If A is not related to B, we will have 0. Like this we can define, right? Sorry.
Yes, sir.
So how many times we have discussed this? Yeah. Now you consider this is another type of relation, another type of representation. Is there any other way? Relation can be represented in one form by using tuples. Okay. Second one is by using matrix. Third one by using directed graphs. In short, we can say digraph. So by using digraph, how we can represent is how many number of elements that we have in A, those many vertices we will be having in the digraph. Okay, like this we will be having those many vertices. Next, if A comma A is present, then we will have like this directed edge from A. Suppose A comma B is present in the relation, then let us say A and B, then we will have directed edge like this. And B comma D, let us say this is C, D, E. Suppose B comma D is part of the relation, then we will be having directed edge from B to D. Like this we can represent in the form of directed graph. Is this clear? Yes? This third type of digraph representation, third type of relation representation. Yeah. Now let us go back to the previous example which we have seen. Like A is nothing but 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 9, 10, and we are having, or let me take another example which is easier than this. Yeah. Now you consider A is defined as 1, 3, 6, 9. Okay, simple thing. 1, 3, 6, 9. And R is defined as it is. Like as we have seen, A comma B will be part of the relation if A divides B. If A divides B. And now what can be the pairs that we can have in R? Now you please tell. 1 comma 1 can we have? Yes. 3 comma 3? Yes. 6 comma 6? Yes. Next. 9 comma 9? Yes. Next. Can we have 1 comma 3? Can we have 1 comma 3?
No, sir.
No. 1 comma 6? No. 1 comma 9? No. Next. Can we have 3 comma 1?
Yes, sir.
Yes. 3 comma 1 we can have. Next. 3 comma 6? 3 comma 6?
No, sir.
No. Of course 3 comma 9 also no. Next you consider 6 comma 1.
Yes, sir.
Yes. 6 comma 3. Yes. 6 comma 9.
No, sir.
No. Next 9 comma 1. Yes. 9 comma 3. 9 comma 6. 9 comma 9. Anyway it's already there. 9 comma 9.
Sir, not 9 comma 6.
Yes. Any other?
9 comma 6 should not be there.
9 comma 6 should not. Yeah. 9 comma 6 should not be there. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Now this is the relation. Now if you consider whether this is a partial order set or not, how we can check? How we can check whether it is reflexive or not? First of all, it is reflexive. Next, the second one is antisymmetric. Anyway, these are the only symmetric pairs till this point. So it is antisymmetric as well. We don't have 1 comma 3. We don't have 1 comma 6. We don't have 3 comma 6. We don't have 1 comma 9. Next, we don't have 3 comma 9 as well. So it is antisymmetric. Next, transitive. Is this transitive or not? Yes, is this transitive or not? Tell me one,
Yes, sir.
one example. Tell me one example.
3,1 and 6,3 should give 6,1
Yeah, 3,1
and 6,3.
Okay, 6,3, 3,1. This should be
Yes, sir.
considered in this way. Yeah, A comma B, B comma C, then 6,1, which is part of the relation. So it is transitive as well. Yeah. Now it is a poset. It is clear to you. It is a poset. Now this particular relation in general, how we will represent in the form of a digraph? Yeah, try to concentrate now. This is the important thing. How we will represent this relation in the form of digraph? How many vertices we will be having?
4, sir.
4. Why? Because 4 elements we are having in A. So 4 vertices we will be having. So let us consider 1, 3, 6, 9. And what are the tuples that we have? 1, comma 1. So we will be having directed edge. Next 3, comma 3. So we will be having directed edge. Next 6, comma 6. 9, comma 9. Like this we will be having directed edges. Next, other than that, 3, comma 1, in the sense from 3 to 1 we will be having directed edge. Next 6, comma 1 will be having directed edge. Next 6, comma 3. Next 9, comma 1. 9, comma 3. Yeah. So this will be the digraph representation. Okay. Is this clear till this point? Just we have represented the relation by using digraph. Now, as we know that A and R together will form a poset. This is known to us. Yes or no? A and R together will form a poset. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Whenever we form a poset, whenever we say A and R will form a poset, then definitely for every A comma A belongs to every tuple of the form A comma A must be belongs to R. Then only it will be a poset. Then only it will satisfy reflexive. Then only it will be a poset. That's why on every vertex we will be having self loop. Yes or no? You consider 1, 3, 6, 9. On every vertex we are having a self loop. Yes or no? If you don't have self loop for any vertex, then it will not be a poset. So if you know that this is a poset, then we can say definitely self loops will be there. Yes or no? Self loop will exist on every vertex. That's for sure. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Next, third property of this one is what? Third property, transitive, right? For poset, what is the third property? Transitive. That means, suppose you consider we are having 6 to 3 and 3 to 1. 6 to 3, okay, that is 6 comma 3 and 3 comma 1. Then definitely 6 comma 1 will be present, as we know that it is poset and it will satisfy transitive property. So definitely this edge will be present. Yes or no? So transitive edges will be present definitely. Yeah, transitive edges will be present. This is another observation. Okay. Now you consider this particular digraph can be represented, if you know it as the poset. Explicitly we need not represent these self loops. This is the optimization we are proposing. Try to understand. If you know that this relation is a poset, then we need not represent these self loops explicitly. So we can avoid these and we can get like this. 4 vertices we are having, 1, 3, 6, 9, and we will not be having any self loops here. So we will be having just 1, 3, 6, 9 like this. And whatever the transitive edges we have, those edges also we need not represent. So now 1, 3, 6, 9, we will not be having any what you call self loops. Then transitive edges are nothing but 6 to 1 is a transitive edge. So we will not be having that. And one more thing, let me draw this one, then I will complete. Yeah. Next, 9 to 3 we are having, and 3 to 1 we are having. This is also a transitive pair, isn't it? 9 to 3 and then 3 to 1. So 9 to 1 definitely will be present. So 9 to 1 here definitely we will be having an edge. Similarly 6 to 1 definitely there will be an edge. Okay, this is the observation. So now what we can do is simply, as we are having 9 to 3, there is an edge. So we can eliminate these transitive edges. Okay, transitive edges we can eliminate. So now we are having 4 vertices. Okay, namely 1, 3, 6, 9. Okay, 1, 3, 6, 9 like this. Now, if you consider 6 is related to 3 and 3 is related to 1. Next, if you consider 9 is related to 3. 6 and 9, is there any relation in between 6 and 9? In between 6 and 9, are we having any relation? No. So what we will do is, if 6 is related to 3, then only we will maintain this 3 in the upper level. Try to understand. Let us consider, we will start from 6. Okay. Now 3, where we have to place, that we have to decide. As 3 is related to 6, we should place this 3 in the upper level. Next, 1 is on top of 3. Why? Because 3 is related to 1. So this can be considered as like this. Okay, we can create another level for 1. Next, for 9, coming to 9, we are having 9 as lower level to 3, isn't it? Why? Because 9 is related to 3. So it should be here. 9 is related to 3. Now this is the relation I am saying. Okay, this is the relation. From this, can we say 1 is related to 1? Can we able to get this particular relation or not? That is what the question here. This particular relation we are representing like this. 1, 1 will be a part of this relation or not? If you know this as the poset, then 1, 1 will be present. Next 3, 3, yes. 6, 6, yes. 9, 9, yes. Up to this we have cleared from this diagram. Is it clear? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Next, you consider whatever the edges directly we are having, like from bottom to top, you see, from bottom to top, 9, 3. This particular one should be part of the relation. Next, 6, 3 should be present in the relation. Next, 3, 1 should be present in the relation. So we have completed this 3, 1, 9, 3, 6, 3. Okay. Now, 9 to 3 we are having an edge, and 3 to 1 we are having an edge. Definitely 9, 1 is also, 9 to 1 is also, there should be a relation. So that we can get from this vertical analysis, from this diagram. Okay, from this diagram we could able to say 9, 1 is related. 9 to 1 there is a relation. Similarly 6 to 1 there is a relation. So 6, 1 and 9, 1 also will be part of the relation. Are there any other possibilities? Can we get 1, 3? Can we get 1, 3? Can we get 1, 3? No. Why? Because although there is an edge, we are considering levels. You consider this as one level, this as another level, this as another level. Okay. Every time, okay, always we will be having from bottom to top only the relation. Okay, relation will be relation tuple will be from bottom to top. So 1, 2, 3 we will not be having any tuple. Got it? So it will ensure that antisymmetric property. If you consider antisymmetric property, if symmetric pair exists, then those two should be same. Okay. Suppose 3, 1 is there. Is there any possibility to have 1, 3 also in the same relation, which is poset?
No, sir.
No, so definitely we are maintaining those levels because it is guaranteed that poset will satisfy anti-symmetric property. So 1 comma 3 is not possible. Can we have 1 comma 9? 1 comma
sir.
9? No. 1 comma 6? No. 3 comma 6? No. 3 comma 9? No. So from bottom to top only we will be having relation. In reverse we will not be having any relation. That's what we can ensure from this diagram. And this particular diagram we are getting from this diagraph itself. We are not drawing independently, just we are drawing the diagram from this relation. Okay. Yeah, from this relation we are drawing the diagram. This is one of the representations of the relation which we have seen earlier itself. Okay. Afterwards, as this is poset, this is indicated, right? As this is poset, it will satisfy reflexive relation, which is nothing but on every vertex we will be having self loop that is internally or implicitly known to us, so we can eliminate this self loop. Next, transitive edges will be part of the this diagram, but those also implicitly known to us, so transitive edges also we can remove, and whatever the directions we have, these directions we are eliminating here. If you see, we are having only undirected edges. Why? Because we are maintaining levels. By maintaining levels, those directions also we can avoid, so that we will be getting simplified diagram, simplified representation of the relation, simplified representation of the especially poset. Okay, this particular diagram we call it as okay. This is the diagram name. Hasse diagram. Okay, Hasse diagram is nothing but from the diagraph representation of the relation, we will be eliminating the self loops and we will be eliminating the transitive edges and the directions as well. Then we will maintain the levels. We will be getting the Hasse diagram. Got it? Yes? Any doubts?
Sir,
Yeah.
if the relation was B divides A, would the graph be flipped?
If the
Graph be flipped?
sorry, if the graph,
If the relation was B divides A, would 9 and 6 come on the top, then 3 and then 1?
yeah. Shall we see that? Like B divides A, instead of A by B, we will be having B divides A, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Then all these tuples will be changed, right? Here, these tuples will be changed. These will remain as it is, but these tuples will be changed. Like it will be reversed. Then this diagraph will also be changed. The directions of this diagraph will be changed. Okay, we need not take 6 only here. Okay, we need not start at 9. We need not start at 6. We can start at 3 also. If you start at 3, what will happen? You see once. You may get doubt that where we have to start. If you start at 3, now this is the 3, right? So from 3, we having any other edges? Yeah, we are having to 1. So let us consider 1 at next level. Next, what about 6? What about 9? Are we having any this one directed edge from 1 to 9? No. 3 to 9? No. 6 to 9? No. So we cannot have any relationship for 9. Next, you consider 6. 6, where we can have 6? Yes, please respond, ma.
At the bottom.
6 should be like, can we have 6 on top of 1? No. Why? Because we don't have relation from 1 to 6. Next, can we have on top of 3? No. Why? Because there is no relation from 3 to 6. So it should be in the lower level. Why? Because there is a relation from 6 to 3. Similarly, 9 also we cannot have here. There is a relation from There is a relation from 9 to 3 only. So we will be having 9 in the bottom level only. That we will come to know. You can start from any vertex, then you will arrive with the same Hussey diagram. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So about this particular Hussey diagram, we will be seeing several examples in the next class. Yeah. Basically, poset, what is meant by poset, you need to understand. Then to represent poset or any relation, we are having digraph representation. The digraph can be simplified in the case of poset, and that we are saying as Hussey diagram. That's it. Yeah. You can enter your rule number and can leave.